Now, to the Bengals. Of course, the number one need is linemen. You need linemen. You need linemen not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side. Because Matt was getting way too much time sometimes. Matt was, and it's funny too because I thought that they would go back to the coverage that they was using against Pat Mahomes, where it was only rushing 3. And I pointed it out to one of my homeboys, and he noticed it. He was like, "Oh, that did work." The best way to defend quarterbacks like that is not only to have you can't rush them. Just give it up on the rushing part. You need to play coverage. You have to play coverage. Make him hold the ball. If he hold the ball, get to running around, he will go down eventually. They get to running around, don't have nowhere to throw. That's what you want. That's what Pat Mahomes was at in that game in the championship. So I thought that they would do that against Matt. They did it for a little bit, and then they stopped. And I don't understand why, because it was working. It's not like they was losing. At one point, they was winning that Super Bowl. So it is what it is. The Bills, they need some interior linemen, and they need some edge rushers. They miss. The last premier guy that they had at a rusher or lineman was Mario Williams. That's about it. Marcel Darius for a little bit. That's about it though. Broncos, of course, they need a quarterback. But I feel like even though we say they need a quarterback, it's not like they one quarterback away though. I won't say that. I'm not gonna go far in saying that because their defense ain't that good to say that. The Browns, they need defense. The Browns need defense because they got weapons everywhere. And as far as offensive wise, they got weapons. You still got Kareem Hunt. You still got Nick Chubb. You still got Landry, who they need to – not only do they need to use better, they need to bring him back and guarantee that he's going to be used better. A lot of people didn't even peep this, but even without OBJ, Jarvis still didn't really go off. Jarvis had some nice catches from time to time, but he didn't even get chances to take over games. The game was over half the time by the time he was touching it. So it's they got to come up with a better game plan at the end of the day, though. So the Buccaneers, I ain't going to lie to you. I kind of like Trash, so I say they stick with Trash. But as far as the needs that they need, they done lost 2 wide receivers already. Godwin, he might not even sign with them. And then, of course, you lost Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was a big loss to me because that gave them versatility. But now not only do you got Brady retiring, which I think, besides all this extra stuff, I think he's actually going to retire. I think that Brady's actually going to stay retired. Because, it's right on what he said. He said he want to play till he's about 45. He's 44, about to be 45 this year. So I didn't really see him playing that 45th year. I didn't. Especially the way that they lost this year, I don't see him coming back from that. Because that team was about to get broken apart. You'll see, this is all pre-draft, pre-free agent, all the franchise tag and stuff. This roster ain't even shaped yet. So he can see it coming to an end. So I felt like he said either I'm going to, stick it out one more year and hopefully be there and get some little extra pieces. And even then, they didn't have a lot of wiggle room. They didn't have a lot. So it wasn't like they was past, had a lot of salary cap to work around. So, that's just a couple of the guys, needs. As far as Dallas Cowboys, I know for sure we need some edge rushers. We could take a safety, interior D-line. We need somebody that can get off the ball faster. As far as everything else, they need to re-sign Gallup. I know that. I think Gallup is coming up. Gallup needs to be re-signed. Y'all need to re-sign him. But other than that, I don't really see where you go from here. You already really stuck. And the best, to me, in my opinion, if you're going to get rid of anybody, trade anybody, it needs to be Zeke. Zeke needs to get traded. And don't get me wrong, Zeke has been a good player, but if y'all going to trade anybody, it needs to be that because he hasn't lived up to what he's supposed to be getting paid since he got paid. How can you even have somebody on your roster like that and say that you are competing for a Super Bowl? You can't say that you're competing for a Super Bowl and your main running back ain't even getting over to 100. Look at Joe. Even the Rams, they still had a guy behind Cam that did a good job, and they did it by committee. So, I mean, you got to have something back there. You got to. And this is why I always say about the NFL period. You have to have complementary. If I have a good quarterback, like a really good quarterback, I need at least a decent running back to be able to offset that. If I have a bad running back, I need a great quarterback. That's kind of what you saw this Super Bowl. You didn't have any good running backs for the Rams, but you had a really, really good quarterback. Matt Stafford is a really good quarterback, no matter how you slice it, really, because he's just period. He can make all the throws. And when I say like a really good quarterback, period, can just make the good throws. I'm going off the throws you can make. If you got legs, cool. But a lot of times I don't get too caught up in that. The Bills, perfect example. Josh Allen, really good. But sometimes his decision making is terrible. That's why I feel like they're not going to get, I'd say the farthest they would get is a conference championship. They'll never get to a Super Bowl with Josh playing the way that he's playing. It's always gonna be a better quarterback that makes better decisions to him. And that's a problem. Even with Joe, he made really, really good decisions even before the Super Bowl and championship. But my main thing was I knew that was gonna happen because this dude is just cerebral. Like he can play in any situation. He don't get caught up in the hype. He you know what I'm saying? He stays steady. He stays the course. You need quarterbacks like that. Quarterbacks that stay the course and know how to, you know what I'm saying, work their jelly without getting rattled. Yeah, you need a quarterback like that. Jimmy G, not one of those quarterbacks. Kyler, he's one of those quarterbacks. Aaron, he is. Russell definitely is. So it all comes back down to that. As far as like, I'll say this, teams that need a makeover. Teams that need a makeover for them, say, the first team I gotta go into is the Buccaneers. I have to say the Buccaneers gonna need a team that needs to do a makeover. The makeover doesn't need to be where y'all think. The makeover needs to be in the whole personnel because this personnel ain't meant for Bruce. This personnel is meant for somebody else. He's an old head. This finna be a young roster. Watch when I tell you. This Tampa Bay roster is finna turn into a young roster. So he not even going to have as heavy of a say-so in the room. Like he had guys that respected him back then, but now it's going to be different for you. So you can't even really talk to them the same way. You can't talk to the same guys, you know, that you would talk to last time the same way. Because these are whole new personalities, whole new everything. So you got to scrap all that. Another team that need to blow it up is Jets. I'll give them that. Jets need to blow it up. And that's just off of like just your history. Y'all have terrible history. The Raiders, they started over. I think McDaniels would do good there. I think that was a good restart for them. And hopefully they have a good draft. But I don't see them going past like because David Carr isn't going anywhere. So y'all gonna have to deal with David Carr. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but I don't see him taking you far in the playoffs. So it's only so much you can do. Chargers are fine. The Steelers, y'all already in a makeover because y'all was depending on Ben. I don't understand why y'all was depending on Ben. So I mean, y'all do have a good building block in Najee Harris. Najee Harris is a good player. He could potentially be, top 5 running back, but that's gonna be hard though. These running backs are, to me, as close as it's been. Like, as far as talent wise, as close as it's been, because the main person that was the rushing leader this year is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, he's a do-it-all. He's one of those guys y'all was talking about with Saquon. He's this, he's that. No. This dude is different. He built different. And to me, I don't go off of, like, how they look. I go off of how they run. I don't care how good you look before the game. I go off how you run during the game. And Jonathan Taylor runs angry. Just how I like Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. Runs angry. That's why every time during third, fourth quarters, they just hand him the ball. Hand him the ball, get out the way. He can go for at least 100 just in one quarter, in the fourth quarter. We saw that happen against the Chargers. He did that against the Chargers. So it's possible. The Browns, y'all need to make over. The Browns need a makeover. The Ravens, I wouldn't say y'all need a full makeover, but y'all need a partial makeover. Y'all need a partial makeover because I say y'all keep Lamar, but say all this other stuff y'all got going on, it's not. The defense isn't what it used to be. And then the offense, who's your running back? Number one. Who's your running back? Number one. Number two, Marquise, is Hollywood Brown, is he a number one at all? I don't see him being the number one. Like, put it like this, if he went on another team, I don't see him being the number one. If he went on the Rams, he's not a number one. If he went to the Buccaneers, he's not number one. He ain't better than Mike Evans. He's not better than Mike Evans. If he go to Arizona, he not number one. He ain't better than D-Hop. If he go to Dallas, he ain't number one. He not better than Amari. Catching wise and route running wise, he's not better than Amari. So he still wouldn't be number one. But that's y'all number one. That just shows the quality of running, like, of wide receivers y'all have. And to me, this guy Bateman, he's gonna be good. You just gotta give him some time. Like, he's a rookie. He need time to develop. He might be a good number two. So, another team that needs a makeover. Believe it or not, I had to say this. The Titans need a makeover. Titans definitely need a makeover. Tannehill can only get you so far. And the fact that y'all depend so much on Derek, that just shows that that's y'all weakness. If you stop the run game, it's a wrap for y'all. That's pretty much what happened in the game. In the game against the Bengals, that's what happened. Derek didn't really get to go off. The fourth quarter, he didn't really show up. And it wasn't even really him. It was, the defense. The defense showed up, the Bengals defense, because they knew that you weren't going to throw it. They know you're not going to throw it. You hadn't had success throwing it all game. So you got to factor that in when you dealing with stuff like that. The Colts, y'all need to make over. Definitely need to make over. That's just AFC side. Eagles don't need to make over. Cowboys don't need to make over. Washington, y'all just need a quarterback. If Washington get a quarterback, they should be fine. I like Washington as far as I guess you could say their team, but as far as everything else, pretty much, I don't like it. Ron Rivera is a good coach. He's an above average coach, so he gonna get you pretty far. Like, he can get you into the playoffs, but I don't see him doing much after that. I'm just being honest.